Namaste to all of you. In this class, I am going to solve some questions of definite integrals. The standard of the questions are JEE Main or Advanced. So let's see the question. So this is the first question, and in this question, ask us find out the value of tan inverse x by x square plus 1 plus tan inverse x square plus 1 by x. Lower limit is -1 and higher limit is 3. So this is very easy question. This is a tricky question based upon the logic. So if we have idea about the tan inverse x and tan inverse 1 by x, then we have no problem to solve this question. So let's see the solution of this question. So let's see here. So tan inverse x, x by x square plus 1 plus tan inverse x square plus 1 by x. So let's see here. Let x by x square plus 1 equal to m. Therefore, x square plus 1 by x equal to 1 by m. Hope that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the form of the question here will be minus 1 to 3, and this one will be what? So tan inverse m plus 1 by tan inverse 1 by m. So we know that tan inverse m plus tan inverse 1 by m equal to pi by 2. So here will be pi by 2, and into we write down this one. So here will be dx. So it means that the second step here will be minus 1 to 0, and we write down here pi by 2 into dx, and we write down here plus 0 to 2 and pi by 2 into dx. So half that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the integration of this one will be what? Then we write down here 1 pi by 2, and we write down here x, and lower limit is -1 to 0, plus again we write down here pi by 2, and here will be also x, and here lower limit will be 0 and higher limit will be 2. So the final step here will be what? Then pi by 2, and we write down here higher limit minus lower limit. It means that 0 minus -1 equal to 1. So here will be 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So pi by 2 into 1 will be 1. Let's see here. 1 0 minus -1, and plus pi by 2, and here will be what? Then 2 minus will be here 0. So here will be pi by 2, and plus here will be we cancelled out 2 2, then we get here pi, then here we get here pi by 2 plus pi equal to, here will be 3 pi by 2. So hope that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So this question is a tricky question. It is very easy question. This is the m, and then this one will be 1 by m, and tan inverse m plus tan inverse 1 by m equal to pi by 2. So hope that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So this is the details of this question. The standard of the question is JEE Main or advanced, and hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. So value of this one will be what? Then we'll write down here 3 pi by 2. Let's see once again. This is the pi by 2. Sorry, here will be what? 0 minus 1 to 0, and here will be 0 to 3. Oh, okay, 0 to 3. So we write down here what? 3 minus 0. Then here will be 3 pi by 2. It means that here will be 5 pi by 2. So the value of this one will be 5 pi by 2. Hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. Once again, I am going to repeat. This is a tricky question. This is in the form of m and 1 by m. And already we know that tan inverse m plus tan inverse 1 by m, which is equal to this one will be equal to cot inverse m. So we know that tan inverse m plus cot inverse m equal to pi by 2. Hope that there is no problem to understand the question as well as the solution of this question. So once again, definite integrals of tan inverse x by x square plus 1 and tan inverse x square plus 1 by x equal to pi by 2, and the lower limit is -1 and higher limit is 3. So if you have any problem to understand the explanation, without any hesitation, write into the comment box. I will try my level best to clear your doubt. So let's see the next question. So this is the next question. The standard of the question is JEE Main or advanced. This is a definite integrals. In this question, ask us find out the value of definite integrals 0 to pi sin square x into dx. This is also a tricky question based upon the formula of cos 2x. Let's see the solution. Sin square x will be what? For this we recall the general formula cos 2x. So cos 2x equal to cos square x minus sin square x. We convert cos square x into sin square x in the form of sin square x. So we know that cos square theta equal to 1 minus sin square theta. Therefore, here will be 1 minus sin square x for this one minus sin square x. Then here will be what? 1 minus 2 sin square x. Therefore, here will be what? Sin square x equal to 1 minus cos 2x by 2. After there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the form of the question here will be 0 to pi, and we write down here what? 1 minus cos 2x by 2 into dx. After there is no problem to understand up to this step. So next step here will be what? We write down here 0 to pi and 1 by 2 into dx, minus we write down here 0 to pi and cos 2x by 2 into dx. Hope that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the here next step will be 1 by 2 and the integral of dx will be what? Then here will be x and here lower limit is 0 and higher limit is pi, minus we write down here for these two we write down here 1 by 2 and the integrals of 2x according to the cos mx will be what? Minus sine 2x by 2. Here higher limit is 5 and lower limit is 0. After that there is no problem up to this step. So the here next step will be when we remove the limit, then here will be pi minus 0. So here will be pi. So we write down here one step 1 by 2 pi minus 0. Minus here will be what? 1 by 2 and we write down here here minus will be what? Plus. We write down here plus and we write down here sine 2 pi and here x will be pi minus sine 0 and we write down these two by 2. After there is no problem to understand up to this step. So here will be what? Pi by 2 plus here will be 1 by 2 into these two, then we write down here 1 by 4 and the value of sine 2 pi equal to 0 and the value of sine 0 is 0. So 0 minus 0 equal to 0. So we write down here 0. So here will be what? Pi by 2. So the value of definite integral of sine square x when lower limit is 0 and higher limit is 5 equal to what? This is the pi by 2. Hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. This is also a tricky question. This question is based upon the cos 2x. If anybody asks us what do you mean by definite integrals of 0 to pi and cos square x. For this we also recall the cos 2x formula and we extend and we find out the value of this one. So hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. Let's see the solution of this question in the zoom mode. So I am going to zoom. So this is in the zoom mode. This is your question. Sine square x into dx 0 to pi equal to pi by 2. You can do this question according to the solution of this way. So here solution, we recall the formula cos 2x. This is the cos square x minus sin square x and this is 1 minus sin square x minus sin square x equal to 1 minus 2 sin square x. Therefore sin square x equal to 1 minus cos 2x by 2 and the form of the question here will be this one. So this one will be the next step and at last we get solution of this question. Answer of this question is pi by 2. So the definite integrals of sin square x into dx when lower limit is 0 and higher limit is pi by 2. So hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. This is the next question. This is also a tricky question and this is very easy question. The standard of the question is JEE Main or Advanced. So let's see the solution of this question. Let here log x at the base e equal to m. Therefore, here will be e to the power m equal to x. Now derivative both side with respect to x here, then we get e to the power m into dm equal to here will be dx. So we become succeed to find out the value of dx. So the form of the question here will be, let's see, when e to the power minus 1, then x equal to 1 when e to the power minus 1. So x equal to minus 1 and x equal to 2 when e to the power 2. So hope that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So let's see here. Form of the question here will be what, then we write down here minus 1 to 2 and for this we write down here m and for x we write down e to the power m, this one, and for dx we write down e to the power m into dm. After there is no problem to understand up to this step, we cancel out this one, then here will be equal to minus 1 to 2 and here will be m into dm. After there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the next step here will be minus 1 to 0 and we write down here m into dm plus we write down here 0, this one 0, higher limit to 0 to 2 and we write down here m into dm. At this step question or very easy. So integrals of m into dm here will be what, then we write down here m square by 2 minus 1 to 0 plus integrals of m into dm will be also m square by 2 and here lower limit is 0 and higher limit is 2. So let's see here 0 square by 2 equal to 0 and minus 1 square by minus 1 square by 2 equal to 1 by 2. So we write down here direct 1 by 2. Again here for this one higher limit is 2, square of 2 is 4, 4 by 2 equal to 2 and 0. So here will be what, 2. So hope that there is no problem. It means that square of 2 equal to 4, 4 by 2 equal to 2. So here will be what, LCM will be here 2 and 1 plus 4, then we get here what, this is the 5 by 2. So this one will be the answer of this question. So the value of the integral of this one will be what, 5 by 2. After there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. Let's see the solution of this question in the zoom mode. So let's see, this is the question. In this question the value of the integral, this is a definite integral, absolute value of log x at the base e by x into dx. Lower limit is e to the power minus 1 and higher limit is e to the power 2. Let's see the solution. Let log x at the base e equal to m, therefore e to the power m equal to x and when we derivative both side at this step, then we get e to the power m into dm equal to dx and we find out the value of what, m and higher limit lower limit when x equal to e to the power minus 1 and e to the power 2. So the form of the question here will be this one. After the cancelled out, we get this one, and here the next step will be this one, and after the simple integrals of this one, and at last we get what, 5 by 2. So hope that there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. Let's see this question. This is also very easy question. The standard of the question is JEE Main or Advanced. So let's see, we discuss about this one. 1 plus sin x equal to, here will be what, then for 1 we write down here sin square x by 2 plus cos square x by 2. It means that sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. For sin x we write down here 2 into sin x by 2 into cos x by 2. So this one will be what, sin x by 2 plus what, cos x by 2 to the power 2. So the form of the question here will be what, then form of the question here will be 0 and pi by 2, and we write down here dx by sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 to the power 2. Let's divide this one and multiplied by cos x by 2. Then here will be next step, here will be 0 pi by 2, and we write down here dx, and we write down here, when we divided each term of this one cos x by 2, then here will be, we write down here cos square x by 2, and multiplied by cos square x by 2 and divided by cos square x by 2, then we get sin x by 2 by cos x by 2 plus cos x by 2 by cos x by 2 equal to, here will be what, 1. After that there is no problem to understand up to this step. So the here next step will be 0 and pi by 2, and cos square x by 2 will be what, sec square x by 2 into, we write down here dx by 1 plus tan x according to the proper arrangement here. This is the 1, and sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 equal to what, tan x by 2. So we write down here tan x by 2 to the power 2. Okay, now we put here 1 plus tan x by 2 equal to m. 1 plus tan x by 2 equal to what, this is the m. Now derivative both side with respect to x, then we get here derivative of 1 is 0, and derivative of tan x by 2 will be what, sec square x by 2, and derivative of x by 2 will be 1 by 2 into, we write down here dx equal to derivative of m will be dm. After there is no problem to understand up to this step, therefore we write down here one more step. So sec square x by 2 into dx, here will be what, 2 dm. These two move here, then we get 2 dm. Let's see, when x equal to 0 we put here, then what will be the value of m. So tan 0 will be 0, so 1 plus 0 equal to what, 1. So when x equal to 0, then here m will be what, according to this one, m will be 1. When x equal to pi by 2, then here will be what? 1 plus pi by 4, and the value of pi by 10 pi by 4 is 1. So here will be 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So when x equal to pi by 2, then m will be what? 2. So observe there is no problem to understand up to this step. So form of the question here will be what? We write down here 1 to 2, and we write down here for sec square dx we write down here 2 dm, 2 dm, and for 1 plus 10 x by 2 whole square we write down here m square. So we write down here 2, and m to the power minus 2 into dm, and here will be 1 to 2. Observe there is no problem to understand up to this step. So let's see the what will be the next step. So here next step, let's see here next step will be we write down here 2 and 1 to 0, and m to the power minus 2 into dm, plus we write down here 0 to 2 and m to the power minus 2, and again we write down here 2 m to the power minus 2 into dm. So the integral of this one will be what? 2 and m to the power minus 2 plus 1, it means that m to the power minus 1, and here will be minus 1, and this is the 1 to 0. Again we write down here 2 and m to the power minus 1 by here will be minus 1, and we write down here 0 to 2. After putting the higher and lower limit, we get here this one will be 0 and this one will be 1. So we write down here m to the power minus 1 equal to, so here will be 2, and here will be what? We write down here minus for this one, minus plus minus, so we write down here minus, and we write down here 2, and we write down here 1 by m. So this one will be what? 1 by 2 minus 0. So it will be, we cancelled out this one, then we get at this step 1. See once again here for minus we write down here minus 2, and here will be 1 by m. For lower limit we write down here 1 by 1, it means that 1 0, so here will be minus minus plus. So here we have 1 and here we have 2. So the value of this one will be 3. Or if you have any problem, then see here. So from this step, see here, the integrals of this one will be, we write down here these two, and here will be Integral of this one will be 1 by m or minus 1 by m, and we write down here what 1 to 0 plus we write down here 2 and 1 by minus 1 by m to the power here will be what 1 to 0 and 0 to 2. So here will be 2 into minus 2 and we write down here 1 by 0 minus 1 by 1 equal to minus 1 and plus we write down here 2 into minus 1 by 2, again we write down here minus minus plus 1 by 0. So here will be 2 and we get here this one will be plus 1, then we get here 3. So this is the theory. Observe, there is no problem to understand the solution of this question. If you have, write into the comment box. In the next class I will solve some more question. Till then, thanks to all of you.